Hang on. Bloopers, there we go. Alright, there you go. A chaos spawn, beautiful.
It's Gumby.
This is Gumby. There you go. So welcome to the channel, everyone. After that amazing introduction of us.
The introduction. I really hope we're not doing that as the introduction. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah. So here we are today. We're filming a game up to the point 40k, of course, and it's Beasts of Nurgle essentially. And there's nothing else in your list.
There's 1,100 points of other stuff in this list.
We don't care about
all
that
the
stuff.
wounds are Beasts of Nurgle.
Yeah. So we have Phroge versus Elf of the dark variety.
We don't like Dark Elves. We're very much not looking forward to getting shot by Dark Elves for 5 turns. It's going to be great. I can interact with other guns really well.
Yeah, because how many range weapons do you have on your list?
Okay, so I've got bolt pistol, Infernal Combi Bolter, and then 4 Infernal Bolters. So my list total has 12 shots.
A turn.
Yeah, I could increase that by like D6 by throwing a fragment. I don't have guns.
You don't believe in guns.
This list, no. Chaos Demons are not known for their ranged output. Let's put it that way.
No, like even the ones that do have ranged output, they're not known for ranged output.
Yeah, skull cannons sure do exist.
Yeah, but yeah, so we're here, and this is a tournament prep game. We got the OPGG TV, one that I'm running coming up soon.
OPGG TV.
OPG GT.
OPG GT. Not the
Overcharge
TV. That's it. This is OPG TV.
Overcharged Plasma Gaming Grand Tournament, because we have over 28 players, and that's how math works.
So for this game, we are playing a Retrieval mission,
which is round 3.
Round 3. Yep. So that's mission 11 in the GT pack. Chris will have the picture of the deployment and all that coming up after this, so we'll show you what we're playing on. Playing on fairly decently heavy terrain.
Yeah.
So between us, what have we gone for secondaries?
So I went for Herd the Prey.
Yep.
To the Last, which is my 2 units of Trueborn.
And the Court of the
And
Archon.
the Court of the Archon, of course. And then also
Raise the Banners.
Raise the Banners High, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
I couldn't remember because I was umming and ahhing over it for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, nice and he spent all that time making me wait.
Yeah.
So he went for the nice and interactive secondary, so I've got a nice little game plan there of going after his banner points. For me, I went for my To the Last, which is conveniently the 3 squads Beasts of Nurgle, who are in theory unkillable, not in practice, but in theory. And then I have Raise the Banners by myself, and because I have 4 whole models that can raise banners in this list, it's great, or 4 whole units. And then I have, oh god, I know this. I have Minimize Losses, the mission secondary for this one.
Yeah.
So I have 15 units on my list, so basically every 4 I lose costs me 5 points. So we're kind of doubling down on the, if nothing dies, I'll win the game. If everything dies, I'll lose the game.
Yeah.
Good plan. So we're hoping nothing dies. That's kind of the idea of the list. So
you're hoping I just sit there and look at you 4 or 5 turns?
Well, no. What I'm hoping is you run at me. You try to do a bunch of damage. You don't do a bunch of damage, and then I kill all your stuff. Get my Epidemius tally up to toughness 6, so that I then become really hard to kill from your stuff. And then I get the real ones on the field, paint army white from Epidemius, and I kind of just laugh at you when my Great Queen one stands in the centre T-posing.
You know, the only thing that would actually change would be the incubi and the witches. Everything else, the wounding wouldn't change every G6. No, he's trying. Oh yeah, well yeah.
It's functionally it's -1 to wound or a bunch of your combat damage, which is very relevant.
Yeah. Fortunately, poison just goes last at toughness.
Yeah, but I'm hopefully just going to laugh at poison. So
yeah, and I love the feel of shooting poison at Nurgle and expecting it to do damage.
Yeah, it's really good with the beast. It's really bad into Nurglings, so I'm going to try and make sure that it's going into Nurglings.
And
things winning Nurglings on 4s just gives me the jollies.
And I vow never to shoot poison into Nurglings this entire game. It will not happen.
You're going to break that very quickly. I have a strong feeling you are not.
No, never going to happen. I will only shoot poison into Big Tunkus and the Phroge. Just the one frog though.
Just one frog. Oh, okay. If you're only going to shoot one frog, then I'm more than okay with this. I think it should be this one.
This one. Yeah.
This guy deserves death.
You've actually missed a spot on him, so yeah. He's going to die first. Anyway, we're going to get into this.
If you don't kill that frog first, there's got to be some kind of forfeit. We'll make him play Dark Eldar next time. Real punishment that'll be.
Fair. Do you want to get into your list?
Yeah, so I am playing a 2 detachment list. I'm playing Chaos Suit. So I have a Thousand Suns Cult of Magic Patrol with Ahriman, who has some psychic powers. They're in the description, go read it. I'm not going to try and remember my psychic powers. I have a Terminator Sorcerer with a Familiar, and he is the Warlord with Arcane Focus and Devastating Sorcery, so it's +1 mortal wound to enemy units only whenever he does psychic powers. And he has +1 to cast, so he'll be +2 to cast on his first spell, +1 on his subsequent. 1 squad of rubrics, and a single Chaos Spawn. That's Gumby, my favourite model in the whole wide world.
Yeah, he's precious.
He is beautiful and gorgeous.
I won't kill Gumby.
And I will die for Gumby.
I will not kill Gumby. I promise.
I feel like you're lying. I feel like you're going to try and kill all my stuff. I don't know why I'm getting the feeling that you're going to try and kill my stuff.
I mean, I'm an Archon, so you know.
I don't feel like Chris's game plan is to just do no damage to me. I'm really feeling that. Then in my Nurgle detachment, which is a full battalion, which does not have my Warlord in it because you need to be pure Cult of Magic as the Warlord to get their Warlord trait and Relic, and that's far more important than 1 CP is, and the Nurgle Warlord traits are hot garbage. Don't read too much into that. So we have a Great and Clean one with a Doomsday Bell and a Bile Blade, so he's the guy that gets to bring back Nurgle models from squads within 7 on a 4+ at the start of each turn. So his goal is to stand there and bring beasts back and do no damage in combat because he's got like 5 attacks at D3 damage. He's really bad in combat for 280 points. 270 points.
He looks great though.
Oh, he looks magical. He's the Chungus that Redemptors wish they were.
What's his base size?
120mm.
So 30mm bigger than Redemptor.
It's the same size as the Onager Dooncrawler. It's huge. He doesn't fit anywhere, including into good lists.
Oh, and the rest of your list?
We have Particulous Slimex, we have Epidemius, or the 2 special characters. We have 3x3 Nurglings, 1/5 of Nurgle Mark Furies, and then 3 squads of 8 Beasts of Nurgle. Conveniently 280 points. 10 points more than the Great and Clean one, making them by 3 to the lasts. And that's it. It's not a complicated list. As I said, it's got 7 models which are armed with ranged weapons, none of which is stronger than 4 shots, and none of which is stronger than strength 5. Or strength 6 on the Cracker Ninja, yes, strength 4 on the Common Wars. It's not about shoot. We don't do shooting. It's not my bag.
I mean, you shoot man bullets.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can do like 40 mortal wounds a turn, but that's...
I mean, that's where your damage output is.
It's by the by, you know, it's not really relevant.
Yeah, let's not pretend here that you don't have some teeth in this list.
No, there's lots of teeth. The Great and Clean one even has them in his stomach. There's plenty of teeth.
So I am running Dark Eldar today, as usual. And so starting off with the Patrol of the Black Heart, got 3 patrols total. So Cabal of the Black Heart, I have got a Archon who's a Master Archon, and who is running with the Gin Blade and the Warlord trait for Ancient Evil. Then I've got the Trueborn in there, and that's a standard setup of 1 Dark Lance, 2 Blasters, 1 Phantom Screen Launcher, 1 Power Sword. So
he's pretending that that's the standard one, like other people are doing those crazy things he is. But no, he's the only person that's trying to run that squad still. As to the last, most people just drop your Drassar. You're the only one adding Power Swords.
I mean, that Power Sword did win me the game against Admech.
Right, yeah, but that's your personal problem. Play better so you don't need Power Swords to win your games.
And in there I have got 2 units of River Jet Bikes because I can't fit them into the Cult of Strike stuff, so they're just running in there with the Heat Lance. And
4 Raiders.
Yeah, I've got 4 Raiders, but I was also going to mention the 2 units of the 2 units of Inkby.
They're not real.
With the Demi Caves, and then 4 Raiders. One has got Grizzly Trophies. 2 have got Splinter Racks and a Phantasm Green Launcher, and one's just running with a Dark Lance. Then into the other Cabal.
There's also a Court of the Archon with 4 Sled 4 and a Lamian in that attachment.
Yeah, sorry, Court of the Archon 4 Sled 4 Lamian.
Which is conveniently 152 points because of the addition of the Lamian, which gets it above the Drassar points level for to the last.
Yes,
which is very important.
I am tired today. I've done lots of work today.
Yeah, we're very tired and we're about to start the game, so
yeah.
You know, expect some solid play here.
only the finest play from OPG.
Oh yeah, we're incredible players and we're totally capable of playing games on like 3 hours sleep.
Yeah.
I wish I was kidding, but yeah, no, we'll be good.
Yeah, so the Court of the Archon is also in the back card. It's on screen, just read it. Going into Caught Strife, I have got a Succubus, Master Succubus, armed with the Triptych Whip Relic and Precision Blows Warrior trait. I've got unit of 10 Witches in there with an Agonizer on the Hex trait, which is upgraded to Morbane's Agonizer. And I've also got a Razor Flail in there as well. And random drugs, I rolled up Toughness and Attack this game. Then it is going into the 2 units of 8 Hellions with Adrenaline. The Succubus also has Adrenaline in there as well.
And 1 squad of Mandrakes, right?
That's in the next patrol, which is the Cabal.
Does it matter? They're the same.
Cabal of the Obsidian Rose. People complain if I put if I put non-Cult Strife stuff into the Cult Strife patrol. So I've got Obsidian Rose, it's got Master Archon in there as well, running with the Helm of Spite and a Venom Blade, and I've also got the Trooper in there, same setup as the Black Cart stuff, and then I've got the Mandrake. And then that's 2,000 points of Dark Eldar.
Not 2150 like last time we played.
Yeah, last time I played against him, I got confused between some lists, and yeah, well, it wasn't great. He still beat me, by the way, I think, with when I had an extra unit of bikes and Incubi in there. It wasn't like I was running with some chaff. It was good stuff, and
that was a fun game. It really boosted my confidence when I found out.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to. I'm playing his 2,000 points this time. Trading weights are off. I'm going to kick his fucking teeth in.
But yeah, so I was checking this and I may run additional units last time.
So yeah, I'm playing against 10% more Dark Eldar. Dark Eldar are already 20% more than every regular army. So I basically played against like 2,500 points of a real army. I mean, I'm playing 2 of the oldest books in the game, so I mean, clearly just a superior player.
I mean, that's not a surprise.
Yeah, but I'm trying to shit talk you, man. You're going to like try and bite back even a little bit.
No.
Okay, so he's just going to keep letting me dig a hole and try to look like the bigger man here. I don't care.
I mean, I'll just let you set out your reputation to what you want it to be. I'm just going to be a nice person.
I've lost enough games to put whatever I want on the line right now.
Anyway,
you play 1,000 games, you got a 90% win rate, you're still losing 100 games. You got to get used to losing at some point.
Anyway, we're going to jump into deployment now and just crack on with this, yeah?
Do we have to? I'm really scared of these troopers. They're really good against me.
Pew pew. Is all I'm going to say to that.
Smite, take 20? Okay, sorry. Infernal Gateway, take 20.
No. Reject. Helm of Spite. No.
We're going to do it. I am fully expecting to see at least one big gateway because Chris is really good at clumping up into me. So, well, this list forces you to clump up into you if you want to kill beasts through narrow kills. So that's kind of the idea. We're going to try and get some good gateways off. That's the entire point of the list.
Yeah, I sense the Hellions are going to die in droves this game.
Yeah, if I get into combat with them with a beast, they're going to go away.
No, just for your mortal wounds.
Why are you giving me Hellions with mortal wounds? Play better.
No, I refuse, how dare you. Anyway, we'll catch you in deployment. Okay everyone, welcome to the end of the deployment phase. So as you can see, we are indeed on mission 11, Retrieval mission from the GT 2021 Rose Pack. And just to remind you of the secondaries that we have taken, I have taken To the Last, which is the Obsidian Rose Trueborn hiding in this raider here. The Blackheart Trueborn hiding in this raider here. And the Court of the Archon, who hasn't been given a raider because of points. And then I'm taking Herd of the Prey and Raise the Banners High. Innes, what have you taken?
So I have To the Last, shockingly, it's the 3 squads of Phrogs, 3 squads of Papa Nurgle. I have taken Minimised Losses, I have 15 units, so as long as I only lose 4, I'm good.
Which you probably will only lose 4.
And then I have Raise the Banners High as well, because, well, I like not interacting, and this looks very good at that.
Yeah. In terms of deployment, I won the roll-off and I asked Innes to deploy first, because I wasn't too scared of him forward deploying on me.
No, my Nurglings don't get forward deploy aggressively in this game.
Yeah. So I let him put down first, so I had more information, didn't end up mattering anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, I have a lot of characters that give me basically free drops.
And so I put in the Mandrakes out front here, Obsidian Rose, not the Archon, just a Trueborn in the Raider. I've got Drazar, Incubi, and Core of the Archon, and the Obsidian Rose Archon with a Helm of Spite out in the battlefield, so I can make use of that nice and early potentially, and then in here is the rest of my army. 2 units of Hellions, 2 units of Reaper jet bikes, and then the Witches, Succubus, Blackheart, Trueborn and Blackheart Archon. In this your deployment.
So I have a Sword of Nurglings advanced deployed on this objective here, and then I have a Swan back here, 3 squads of beasts in a nice little row here, just maintaining your coherency and keeping them all within 6 of the Great and Clean one. I have Epidemius and Slimex with the 2 Dungeons characters. Back behind this ruin I have a squad of Furies who are on this objective, squad of Nurglings, and finally back here we have another squad of Nurglings and my squad of Rubrics ready to move on to this objective.
Nice.
It's not too complicated. You don't really get much of a choice about hiding stuff with this list, so you kind of just have to pick the few things that it's worth hiding and then just go for it with the rest.
Yeah, I mean, the frogs just do frog things.
Yeah, the Beast and Nurgle are 24 60mm bases, so the day I find a board I can hide them on will be a very interesting day.
Yeah, I think that might make Tal cry. that day.
I would enjoy that day.
Yeah, so terrain shoutouts and whatnot. So we have the MDF wooden terrain, including the painted forest, which I painted from wargamestournaments.com. Awesome stuff, nice and cheap, easy to build. Go and get yourself some if you haven't got any terrain. The objective markers were made by Nori Custom Designs in Cooper. Link will be downstairs, go check them out. And then the map is from GameMat EU, and the creators are Games Workshop creators, but they do not need a shout out. I think they have enough clout in this hobby as it is.
Who are Games Workshop?
Yeah, they're like, I think they make the models, but I'm not sure, you know.
That doesn't sound right.
That doesn't sound right. Okay, so shall we get to roll off our first turn?
Do we have to? That sounds terrifying. I could lose that.
Listen, it might be the one time I get to beat you on dice here, so... I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 4, so I am unfortunately taking first turn here.
Is that what you wanted out of interest, or...?
I don't particularly need first turn. My list doesn't really do anything. So
yeah.
Going first second doesn't really matter. It just gives me better secondary, gives me better endgame scoring if I go second.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Anyway, we will come back to you with probably a turn summary. I don't think much will be happening.
I don't think I'm doing much this turn. I don't think I can shoot or swine anything, so it's not like I have any guns.
Alright, so we'll come back to you with turn 1 summary. Okay everyone, welcome to the end of the Nurgle turn, and let's talk us through what's happened.
Okay, I moved forward. I failed to cast Miasma, and I raised banners with the Rubric squad here, Ahriman, and the Furies there. The Furies were very cunningly positioned to be just with the top of that objective, and then Ahriman, I didn't need to cast powers this turn, so Ahriman is there, and then these guys were placed 2 within 5. I get through my banners turn 1, and that's it, that's all I really can do. I don't have guns, my passing powers are not out of sight, and the only defensive buff power I have is here, and I did decide not to use it.
Yeah, this is basically what the Frog army does, it just comes forward at you,
the
it
only
doesn't
thing
stop.
I probably could have done is I could have swapped that second power, but I don't need it right now. I'll swap the gateway if it becomes useful, but until then I'll keep holding it.
So, we'll see what the Dark Elder can do with their turn 1 coming up next. Okay everyone, welcome back to the end of the Drukhari turn, and I have actually come on my little hidey hole, the tiniest amount, just testing the waters, seeing if it's a temperate climate, and it's not, because it's Nurgle. It's around and he's putting poison into the air. Anyway, enough rambling. In the movement phase, I tucked these 2 raiders out to start putting down their firepower. I need to get firepower downfield quick as possible in this game. If I have any chance of slowing down the Toad Tide, like that commented you, the Toad Tide.
No.
I have put the Reaver jet bikes in that building just to jump out with their 36-inch threat range, maybe try and kill off something next turn. The court raised the banner here. The Archon disembarked from the Blackheart Raider to raise a banner there. He's doing a heckin' braveness, is what I'd say. The Incubate Raider is screening for the other Archon, who is I put out so that the first point where Innis can get line of sight to smite and do mortal wounds to this guy with the Terminator Sorcerer, or Ahriman is the same point where I can deny to with the Obsidian Rose Helm of Spite Archon. So it makes this play here the tiniest bit safer, and I really do mean the tiniest of possible bits. The Mandrakes have fallen back a little bit and raised a banner there, just so they're out of charge and nastiness range, and that's all I've done.
Yep. He also put so he put
yeah, did
7 wounds on the Great Unclean one, 4
Yeah.
wounds on this beast squad, and killed 1 beast from that squad. I used the reroll ones on Philippines bubble from the Great Unclean one just to keep my stuff taking a little bit. So
I didn't actually want to kill one of the beasts because now Innes is going to try and resurrect them in the command phase, right, or the movement phase.
Start of turn.
Start of turn.
Or
And
start of movement phase, whatever the difference
then
is.
basically now my Archon is a bit more threatened. So do you want to do that now on camera?
No, but
No?
well.
Okay.
So I'm going to gain a CP for my turn. I'm going to score a 10 primary.
Yeah.
I'm going to heal a wound on this beast squad with ridiculous slime mix because a mortal died last turn. And then I'm going to roll for the 1 beast that died on 4 up, which is cocked, which is fail.
Which is a fail. Okay, so I'm still safe. Yeah, so points for Innes' start of turn will be on the screen now. Okay, everyone, here we are with the end of the Nurgle turn as we get a good shot of Big Chungus himself looking down the battlefield. What happened in this?
I advanced the Nurgles here. They rolled a 6, so they were able to go to that objective and pull down Chris's banner. Doesn't change his primary, so it holds him to a 10, but that's fine. We smited with this Terminator Sorcerer. He clipped the edge of his mandrakes here. Rolled a 2 for his damage, sadly. I didn't get a big smite, not that I was really banking on that. That's kind of it. We put miasma on the red toads.
Yeah, as you can see,
This
this
doesn't really do stuff.
is a very fast playing this, I would say. Because it has one trick, but that trick is very good.
It spends most of his time rolling saves.
Yeah. So we'll come back to you with the Drukhari
We did
turn.
the same thing of leaving Great Unclean within 6 of all 3 squads again.
Yeah, so Innes is basically making sure that all of his stuff is within the buff bubbles.
As resilient as possible, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll come back to you and see how much I can interact with it this turn. Probably it's not going to be too much until I have to come in, which is probably going to be turn 3 for me. So we'll see what happens there. Hello everyone, welcome back to the end of the Drukhari turn as I pan across the battlefield. No more Mr. Big Chungus in this. So in the movement phase, as you can see, I popped up with pretty much all of my forces. Oh, sorry, I've just seen a model was left behind, which I didn't catch. It should have been part of this squad. There we go. So Hellions have moved out just to loan their firepower. They're not moving up doing anything crazy. Obsidian Rose Raider came over there next to their Archon, finding a bit of screening. The Incubator Raider has moved up because I reckon that flank is going to be soon infested by Phroge, as is this flank, as is the middle flank. And I just spent my turn shooting the Nurglings that came out to play. Had to charge them with the bikes as well. Then all my shooting plus a CP reroll that didn't go into the Nurglings. So basically all my heavy firepower and plus some poison. The poison did about 3 damage, so it was worth putting that in. Killed the Grey and Crew one. Whether that's worth it or not, I don't know, but he can bring frogs back, and I don't like that. When I'm trying to kill the frogs to stop instances to the lasts. But yeah, so I just scored the 2 points for banners and 10 points for the primary. So
And he's going to get 4 on Artistry.
yeah, and that's why the Nurgle had to die, because Innes had one behind the halfway line in the building.
Primary as well.
Didn't give him 15 primary, I know. So Innes gets 10 on primary and 3 banners.
I lost the last Nurgling on 1 wound to rolling a 6 on the morale check.
Yeah.
It's worth the rest.
What did you have to? What was leadership? So leadership.
Leadership 7, so I had to roll 6.
Yeah, you had to roll 6.
Yeah, I had to roll 6.
1 in 6 chance. Oh well, live and learn. And the bike's going to die horribly this turn. But we'll see what else Innes can do. We'll come back to you with a turn summary or a charge, depending on what happens. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the end of the Nurgle turn. Innes, what happened? I see you've come slightly more forward.
I charged and fought into the Reavers, and I summoned off a squad of the other Reavers. That was kind of it.
Yeah.
Guys advanced with the objective, so that Chris can't get his banner again.
Why are you doing this to me, Innes?
Because it's enjoyable.
How dare you? How dare you, good stuff. Cool, yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, we don't make things complicated here in Nurgle Town.
In Nurgle Town, things are simple. Yeah, so just give you a different overview of the battlefield from this side. Cool, so yeah. Dark Elder going to respond, and I'll take 4 times longer than Innes took for his entire turn.
Yep.
We'll catch you then. Hello everyone, welcome to the middle of the Drukhari turn, end of the shooting phase. So I have shuffled round, trying to keep my Troopborn safe, keeping them at the back. And I have decided to come up and engage. My plan is for between a combination of shooting to kill and charging to kill the blue frogs with the witch cult and the Archon making them fight last. Then over there with the Drizzy Trophy Raider in my army, making those frogs leadership 5. The Incubi should mop up. They got an Archon in support to give them real ones to hit. And yeah, just gonna go for it. So in the shooting phase, I was able to get this squad down to what, 3?
Yep.
3 frogs. So you've used the real ones mortal for Funeral Bane stratagem.
And then we're really bad on all my Philippines.
Yeah, it was a bit of a
for the 3rd turn in a row, for what it's worth.
a bit of a brutal game for you, but I mean, this is what the frogs do. They just march forward, take casualties, and
I've just not passed Philippines at a decent rate, which has been kind of sad. But it's fine.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to kill off that to the last for you, but we'll see. So one thing I'm certain of, the mortal wound output from you next turn will be brutal.
I hope so.
Otherwise, it's not going to be much of a game.
I hope so.
Just don't perils in it. That's all you got to do.
That's fine. I just not perils. That's fine. I can do that.
Yeah, just don't get double ones.
I'll just use the strat to not perils. But
yeah. So we're going to go to the charges. So there's a lot of charges, so we won't roll all these on camera. This is going to be a bit too much back and forth.
Just come back at the end of the 5 phase.
Yeah, but I just wanted to show you the state of the board.
All that stuff's going into them. All this stuff's going into them. It's not
I'm not touching the orange frogs. If all goes well, the orange frogs will be all that's left.
He's optimistic.
I am optimistic. I'm an optimistic Drukhari Archon. So we'll come back to you with that. Okay, everyone, welcome to the end of the charge phase. So, with the help of the Archon making this squad fight last and the Incubi making that squad fight last, I have managed to pick up all of the remaining of the squad and bring this squad down to one dude because you failed morale because you leadership 5 and you rolled a 5 and then you lost another dude. So that definitely hurt you, I think.
Not ideal. No, it's not.
Not ideal. So you've really only got 1 frog squad left.
I have a 1-on-1.
Yeah, you're 1-on-1, but I should be able to pick up that other one with some Dark Lance Fire later on in the game.
No, he's gonna hide like a bitch now.
And what strategies did I use? I've got to mention that turn I did use a Viscering Flyby to try and do some extra mortal wounds to the boost squad and move base to 3. Then I think you saved 2 of them with Funeral Bane.
I saved 1 of them.
1 of them. So that wasn't the best use of 2CP, and I did lightly fast the blue Incubi squad to make them last a bit longer. I'm just starting a basic threat overload in this right now with a bunch of cool stuff. The Succubus using Showsteer consolidated the wrong way, I say the right way personally, and took down the banner here. So we're currently on 2 banners apiece. And as you can see, Innes is already moving his models trying to get revenge on me. So we'll come back to you with Innes' revenge.
Revenge is an old word, but sure.
Innes did only score 5 because I contested that objective with the Raider. It's out of his turn. Okay everyone, welcome back to the end of the Nurgle army turn. Well, not so Nurgly anymore.
Turn 4.
Turn 4. So, Innes, what happened?
So we charged in a bunch of stuff over here and over here. We swapped out to Infernal Gateway, and then with Infernal Gateway, Astral Blast, and Armand's powers, we managed to clear out everything here, including with the charge.
Yeah, it was nasty.
It was good.
Then you tagged the Hellions after the charge.
Yeah, and then we tagged the Hellions here. We lost 2 guys, but we were stopping Chris Cabana, and also we're stopping them from being able to eviscerate and fly by my characters, which I think is valuable here. It's still going badly. I don't think it's going to end well for me, but this is the limitation of the army. Is once stuff starts going badly, it goes badly quickly.
Yeah, and you also shot some of the Incubi off with the River Marines double tapping them, right?
3 Incubi with a double tap from the Rivers.
So, and you spent some. So you're on 1 CP and I'm on 2 now. So yeah, I've got some work to do still. I need to pick up that to the last guy in my turn with some Trueborn Fire probably. But we'll see what I do and we'll come back to you with a turn summary. Okay everyone, welcome back to the end of the Drukhari turn. As you can see, I have wiped out the frogs. That was a combination of the Trueborns, short range shooting, and Dark Lances going up here from my Raiders and the Trueborn. I think it took 4 Dark Lances to go that 1 frog.
Yeah, something like that.
Then the Hellions rid off the 1 remaining frog after the shooting phase. I've advanced around with the Incubi and tried to clear off the entirety of this objective because Innes has troops over here and I don't. So Innes does retain that, so I haven't rocked off to a second 5-point primary, and I'm going to see what he can do in relation to me. He still has a lot of damage output from his psychic characters. So we're going to come back to you with that as he moves his Terminator Sorcerer next to my guys. Am I in range for exploding mortal wounds? Okay,
So
we'll let Innes think and we'll come back to you with his
don't
turn.
do that, that's a really bad idea.
Okay everyone, here we are at the end of the game. We're just doing a round summary as not too much was left in the board. Innes, what happened in your turn?
So I advanced the Sorcerer over here, he sweated off the Incubi and put a bunch of mortal wounds on Drazar and the Archon and stuff like that. Not quite enough, unfortunately. Aramon and the Spawn were able to, well, just Aramon actually, were able to kill out the Radar. It was on the building, Slime charged the Hellions and flopped horribly. It was really funny.
Yeah.
He charged in, got 3 hits, 3 wounds, Chris passed the save, and then he rolled the ones on damage. It was great, killed the Hellion and a half. The Rubrics went for the hero play of charging the Rages to try and get it to blow up and kill Drazar, which would have been really funny.
A Raider did explode.
A Raider did explode, just the wrong Raider.
It was the one over here.
It also didn't kill this one, so it didn't really work.
Yeah.
But fortunately, with the combination of Indomitable Foes and Weaver of Fates, they were able to tank double fight from Drazar and the Archon and the Raider and the Darklance from the Raider and only take 3 casualties.
Do you reckon that will stay
quite
in the new codex?
I wasn't even taking the 2 of auto save, it was just the native.
The native armor save?
The 3 of them auto save from Indomitable Foes and Weaver of Fates, yeah.
Yeah, but do you reckon that they'll keep their 3 up?
I mean, all his dust is on Lucius now, so I mean, if they can't beat Lucius Resilience, then fucking some bloody Skitari.
Yeah, so we'll catch you in the outro and we'll show you the final score there, but it's a pretty convincing story of Omni, as you probably have seen over the course of the game.
It wasn't great. I played the game slightly wrong, but
we'll get into that. Yeah. So we'll catch you in the outro chat. Okay, here we are at the end of the battle. I felt like a bit of a slog.
Chris spent a lot of time playing. I kind of just watched a bunch and rolled saves.
But yeah, so Drukhari did win. I'm happy with that though.
Drukhari got a
well played.
Pretty good win, yeah.
Yeah, so score from the doors will be up on your screen, but I'll read them out to you because my lovely voice, and I'll project because I'm facing the wrong way this time. So primary for Nurgle was 10, 10, 5, 10. To the last 0. Minimize losses 0. And raise the banners high was a 12.
12, yeah. I managed to keep almost all my banners almost all the game.
Yay! So that was fun.
Hero rubrics.
The rubrics were heroes, and I'm guessing they're all going to be your MVPs when I ask you for that.
Oh, I don't know if
Then it's going to be 10, 10, 10, 15 for the Dark Eldar, and 15 to the last because I just kept you away from me all game, which was nice. 15 Heard the Prey because I just kept you away from me the whole game, that was nice. And 10 Raise the Banners because you took one down in the first turn and I could never really afford to get it back up. I could have maybe would have been better to raise it with the Hellions rather than coming in and charging you and stuff, but they did get me 15 primary, so.
I think you got 15 primary because you killed both the guys on it, so I would have only got 2.
So I could have gotten plus 1 point. Would that have changed the WTC
score?
score? So anyway, so total score was 57 to 95 to the Dark Eldar and 17-3.
In WTC fighting, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting game.
Very different than last time we picked this, because we have played this
Yeah,
before.
they're very different. Pre-North Liquifers were somehow better for me than this version was.
Well, I think I just have a more of a well-rounded army is the thing, because spamming liquefier guns only gets you so far.
It's more just the downrange shooting is really hard for the Nurgle to interact with. It's just better than for me than the close range shooting. So even though the liquefiers do more damage than the Trooper do, the Trooper do it for longer, and that was kind of the break point.
Yeah.
They also gave him the critical mass he needed to get that last one through on the Great and Clean one on the early turns, which kind of started me a little bit because I lost a few pieces to leadership that I might not have otherwise, and I probably have gotten a few back.
Of course, because it makes leadership 10, right?
Yeah, it makes leadership 9 or 10,
yeah.
I think it's 10. So yeah, that was a bit rough. I approached the game wrong though, so I don't really mind the loss here.
So speak about that, how should you approach the game?
So basically, because once we both took our secondaries, if you kind of run through a mental check on what we're going to score, if I never engage, I'm going to score 95. If Chris never engages, he's also going to score 95, which means that, well, all I have to do is that one turn where I advance the Nurglings onto the objective 3 on turn 2 and pull down that banner. The second that happens, I win the game by 1 point because he doesn't get that banner, because he loses that turn of banners. And then
2
he
points, actually.
So, yeah.
2 points.
So I then win that game by 2 points if nothing else happens.
Yeah.
So the second I pulled that play off, I should have just gone full defense mode and made Chris have to come and interact with me to break parity. Because even if that point once I lose the Great and Clean one, it doesn't matter. I gave Chris too much of a frontage that he could charge both my squads a piece at the same time. So the 2 squads that he charged that were on the outer flanks, where he got to put the Incubi and Drazar into one squad and all the Hellions onto the other, I needed to make it so that only one of those 2 things could happen instead of both. And that was just a mistake on my part. That was just me fundamentally not understanding my own win condition for this game. Because my win condition in this game is never fighting through to kills to the last. It's take down a couple banners and keep my stuff alive. That's what I was
And
doing.
it gives you a narrow win, right? But
yeah, exactly. But a narrow win is still a win. And even though WC would be a 10-10, it's still better than, well, a 3.
Yeah, because my Drukhari list is kind of like you want it to win decently big and score the team some points, and also whilst also never really losing much. That's why you build in the core of the Archon and the 2 last options with giving the Trueborn extra weapons.
Yeah, the Power Sword and the PGL and Trueborn to get up to 104 points.
Yeah, so Jazar can go off and do Jazar things as your Warlord. So you getting a draw is a win for your team, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have been more than happy getting like an 8 to 12 point game here. Coming into the game with a fundamental misattribution of how I should play the game, and then also rolling badly, you don't get both, you know? you get one. You don't get to roll badly and have a terrible game plan and still have any chance of winning. If I just rolled badly and I'd had a good game plan, I probably still would have been in this. If I had a good game plan, or if I had not rolled badly, I might have still been in it, but I wouldn't have deserved it. So, you know, you get one or both. You don't get both. And I had both, and that was, you know, it's my own fault for just playing the game wrong. I think I'd have still had a fighting chance if I just bleed slowly and keep one guy alive for each of the Dark Beast squads, and I'd probably still got more points. Yeah,
because ultimately the Trueborn aren't going to kill enough of you, your beasts quick enough. When you get down to like two beasts, advance them in the building and then never see it again.
Yeah, exactly. And then what you can even do stuff like leave one on an objective and one behind a wall, so that they have to kill both in one volley in order to take you off it or to get the kill. And it's just not likely because beasts are generally resilient enough.
Yeah, until you start rolling a bunch of 4s for your invulnerable and 3s for your Fuel of Pain.
Yeah, so just don't roll badly, and also don't play badly, but mostly to play badly. I would recommend not playing badly is generally a better way to guarantee you win games rather than trying to not roll badly, which you can't do anything about.
But you're bringing this to OPGGT, the tournament, right? That's the current thinking, yeah?
When does this come out?
Next week.
So if this comes out on Saturday or later, which it totally does, Chris.
Yeah.
You got to come to edit this in 2 days. No, I'm not bringing this to OPGG. What we've seen here, you've seen the fundamental limitations of this list. It doesn't have any shooting, it doesn't have any way to interact on good terrain. It's very much a denial list. And in a 20-0 format in singles, I'm not going to get big wins with it. I'm not bringing this to a singles. It's just, it would be suicidal. The fact that anybody ever believed I was going to is hilarious to me.
Yeah, this is a team's list through and through.
Yes, this is a team's list that I happen to have built and painted in time to bring for this. I'm actually bringing Black Templars to the team.
Yeah, so I will try and get them up for a tournament prep game maybe next week, but we'll see depending on how Battle Core releases.
Yeah, if we can do next week we will, and then we're doing a game with the new Battle Core and the Legion of Shadow rules. Which should be able to come out the release weekend.
So there'll be lots of Innis on the channel, which is great because
it means I get games. So.
Yeah, it means you get games, and I also get games, and this is a kind of our tournament prep rush before a major event.
Yeah, so looking forward to seeing the Battle Core stuff. I'm really hoping I can run Beast and Nurgle with it, so I don't have to paint anything else.
We shall see.
I have got loads of Demons of Chaos, so I should be able to get a pretty decent tournament-ish ready list for Legion Shadow in order to play into Chris. And then Black Templars I need to get painted anyway, so we'll get them on the channel next week hopefully.
But so apart from that,
Psych out the way. Game plan. How would you have approached it if I had just gone for the Fold and Hour plan? And how did you approach
I really hated the pick of Razor Banners. I picked it because I spent 10 minutes looking at that whiteboard, thinking what am I going to take, and I couldn't come up with a better plan. What I should have done was heard the play, minimise losses, and to the last, mirroring your game plan.
And that was my idea.
And that was your day. You told me that 1-4, I think.
Yeah. So basically, Chris should have taken minimise losses because then he gets the guaranteed 100 without break parry, without having to risk me being able to take a banners off him. And hurt the praise in this mission is always 15. Like there's nothing I can do to get more than
because as soon as you come up,
unless I absolutely just completely collapse him on turn 2. Which, with the way the board was set up and where my Psychers were deployed, was never an option. My Psychers also should have been deployed on the other side. That was a massive mistake.
And basically, all I have to do to win the game is I send in less than.
You just need to stop me getting 1 banners.
Yeah, I stop you getting 1 banners, and if you have a turn where I can maybe chip a beast squad with a unit carry.
What you've got to do is what he has to do is he just builds the damage up on the Beast and Nurgle squads until there's like 2 guys left. Maybe one's in the open, maybe one's hidden, and you just try to get that collapse through where you put like 3 wounds on the guy with you put like 3 wounds on him with Splinter Fire, and then you punch through a Trueborn squad with Splinter Fire and then the Dark Lances and the Blast to try and just force that through. Now the counter to that is that I'm never going to let him do that because I'll just start taking armor saves. If I've got a guy in the opener and he fires like Splinter at me, I'll take my 6 of armor instead of my 5 of Bimble and not take my Feel No Pain, so that I just die and then he can't kill it, which you would not have expected. I think that would have been quite funny. Didn't get to pull that off.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought I was coming, but now I will. Because you've said it, I totally don't remember.
But I'm not playing this list anymore, so that's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, like that's really my game plan. But my game plan for the seconds I took was just to let you come to me, build up the pressure with the Trueborn. I wasn't going to sit back scared in my buildings. I was going to make sure I was popping out, taking those shots off, try and kill the Great Queen because I don't want you resurrecting Beast because that gives you like nearly 4 inches of additional movement when you bring a Beast back.
It's more than that because they're on 16 bases.
So 5 inches of additional movement, and just try and eventually collapse into you. I had a brain spark when you were explaining after the Great Queen one died that on the far side of the table you could buff up the Midland and the far and across the cameras now Phrogs with the reroll ones, Feel No Pain, or this one. I thought great. I'm going to attack both flanks and make you pick one.
Oh yeah,
but my mistake.
You only gave me the option of shooting for one flank though. So.
My mistake was I should have had the balance. I should have had my shooting more in the middle, but then I would have to be closer to the middle unit of Phrogs, and I might.
I was definitely trying to set up trade-offs there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Great Queen one die. I don't think it was the right play. I don't think it was the one you should have gone for. I think you should just sunk more firepower to the beast squads. But at the same time, it makes the game less variable for Chris, but I think the upside of killing the beast is higher.
Yeah, like ultimately, I spent 2 turns gaining 0 points because the Great Queen is not a secondary pick.
And the Great Queen one shouldn't die on average there, but that's a dangerous word to use when you're relying on 5s and 4s. On average, it's going to take a lot more firepower than Chris put into him to kill him. But obviously that's the variance that you go for when you go for a play like that, and then like sometimes just Splinter Fire goes nuts. It happens.
Whenever I went for the Green Queen, if I felt like halfway through my shooting, I'm not going to get the kill, I made sure my Trueborn, my most deadly units, were in range to pivot into one of your beast squads.
Yeah.
And also trying to bait out some more surge CPs and something.
Yeah, but you only have used Warrior to combo with this list. It's just you never have a viable enough target to be like a minimum surgeons in the shooting phase. Because it's too easy to switch targets against this. Unless you've only got one squad of beast left, or there's only one squad of beast that matters, like if it's the only one that's holding an objective that your opponent is trying to contest, that's when you use Warp Surge. But you don't use Warp Surge just in the open because your squads are never important enough to be worth it.
Yeah. So who's your MVP?
Terminator Sorcerer. He did so much damage. He kept me in the game way longer than he should have. He killed the Archon, he killed the Succubus, he killed 7 Hellions and 6 Witches, and then also killed the other squad of 5 Incubi and put some chip damage out elsewhere.
He probably killed nearly 400
He probably killed like
points.
half of what I killed. He probably killed about half of what I killed total.
Yeah.
The problem is I only got him in action for 2.5 turns. I just didn't have any. Because of where I deployed him, I couldn't use either of my characters on turn 2. So
yeah.
I needed to have him on the other flank to challenge.
Yeah.
Because this objective here was hidden behind a ruin, so there was no way I was going to be able to get angles or anything on it. Whereas that one was in the open, and I didn't threaten that at all. I should have been fighting for this one with combat, and that one with smites, because I could smite into that one, but I couldn't smite into this one, and that was the mistake I made with the deployment of them.
Yeah.
I put them, so the reason I did it that way is because I wanted to have them next to the rubrics so that I could use Kabbalistic Focus with the +2 to cast, but it's just never worth using in this list against this because Gateway is just too variable. It's still super unlikely. I still have to roll an 8+ to get the big one.
And,
so it's just
and there's only one deny I have on one guy, and it's quite predictable. You can work around that, so you shouldn't ever really need to +2.
Yeah, it just wasn't worth it. I just had them on the wrong side, and I didn't have, because the beasts take up so much real estate, it's really hard to move through them with a character, especially with characters that are on formal bases, which means that it's really tight angles because the beasts have to keep two levels of coherency. You're often using a lot less than your full damage coherency, which is what you need to get a formal base through. So it can be quite awkward moving around them, which means you're really restricted in your deployment. You can just straight lose games deployment with this list. which is not entirely what happened here, but I made it a little harder myself.
Didn't help.
Yeah, it didn't help.
For me, MVP.
I don't mind what version of your MVP is. It's the Mandrakes that sell this objective.
Yeah, they were good. I was thinking also the core, but the thing with Dark Elder and picking an MVP is that they've got so many moving parts and everyone does such a little job really well.
There wasn't really anything specific, but I would probably say...
probably designing by coming up and clearing up beasts.
That's good. No, it was probably one of the It was probably the two Drukhari squads did the most valuable damage output. Like they were really good finishing off squads, but the Mandrakes and the Courts both did really good objective holding business.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna do when his game is holding objectives.
Chris's nominated MVP for me was the Rubrics because they just kind of stood there.
Yeah, just said I'm gonna have a 3-for-1, but screw you.
It's technically a token vulnerable save, but WTC doesn't allow token vulnerable saves unless you have it on your data sheet, which I think is fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, they kind of just did that, and that was funny.
But yeah, anyway, so we're gonna call it there. We're gonna get in this on the channel with either Bat Templars or Be'lakor, whatever comes first.
Apparently, we're gonna play like 4 times this week, so.
Apparently, yeah, it's gonna be great. We're gonna be sick of each other, and then we're gonna go and to tournaments.
We weren't already. No, that's 100% not what's happened.
Anyway, comment down below what you thought of this game and what you're looking forward to with Be'lakor. And also seeing this mysterious Black Templar set in this.
Oh, and there's also AdMech stuff coming. Yay!
Yeah, AdMech boss. I'm not getting Gavin back up here. He drank like 9 cans of Iron Brew from a pack of 8. So yeah, I'm not letting that back up here.
That's the thing that we don't like it for, not playing AdMech.
No, AdMech players, we love you really. We really do.
Chris has to say that. My brand is very much not being nice about things.
Yeah. Anyways, to everyone's going to be at the tournament. We'll see you there, and like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter.